Hi friends! I have been posting on my Instagram a lot about our geography units that we've been doing lately, and I've gotten a lot of questions about it. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to get a little video up for you to explain what we do for our geography curriculum. Our main source of for our curriculum is Give Your Child the World, Raising Globally Minded Kids One Book at a Time. And it is by Jamie C. Martin. This book is invaluable. It is so good. It goes continent by continent and country by country, and it breaks it down by ages. It starts at about 4 years old and goes to about 12, but I would say that some of the novels and chapter books would be interesting for anybody. And it gives a little synopsis of what the book is about. So how I use this for my curriculum is I just pick what we're going to do as far as what continent we're going to study that year. And typically it goes along with what we're doing for history. And so like this year we're doing early American history, so we did the Americas. And I just open it up to that part and I just write what local library I can get the book from. I just do this all at once in the summer when I'm doing my planning, or I'll write if it's available in Amazon. Not that I buy very many of them from Amazon, because that would add up very quickly. But sometimes there's one that I just think sounds like a really great book that I would want my children to read, and it would be a good addition to our library. So I put it there and I can decide later when I know what books are available to me. So that is the meat of our curriculum, and I love it. If you're Charlotte Mason, if that's your method of homeschooling, this fits in very well with living books. But really it would just bring any geography curriculum alive. And the books that are recommended, they're just wonderful books. Many of them are real. Many of them are very rich in knowledge. For example, this one on sloths, it talks about this real sloth sanctuary that's in Costa Rica, and it talks about them, and you can look up this same sanctuary online and look at the same sloths that they talk about in this book, and it really inspired us. Now we're all wanting to go to Costa Rica to visit the sloths there. Another one that I thought was really good, we just read this week. This one's called The Good Garden, How One Family Went from Hunger to Having Enough. And this is a book about a family in a village learning to be more sustainable for growing their own food. And it was about a teacher who came in and taught them how to garden and really helped this village. And it's called Citizen Kids Can Press. And they have a lot of really good books just about global awareness. And this was a treasure. So these are the kinds of books that you're going to find there. Like this is an example of maybe something for younger kids. This is about Peru. And this is more of a picture book, but still taught a lot about the people of Peru. So that is what we do mostly. Then after that, we have a Trail Guide to World Geography. And this also has everything divided up by, well, the very first ones are the whole world together. So it's basic continent or questions about the continents, the oceans, seas, reading maps. And then it goes by continent. So you have North America, Europe, so all the continents. And then each day they have 3 questions, and they go by age and complexity of questions. And so we'll just sit down for group time and we'll read these questions together, and we'll have a map, maybe an atlas, or a globe, not a map, and an atlas and my iPhone, and then we answer these questions together. So just to give you an example, this is week 27, it's review. What is the largest continent in the world? What is the largest island, world's largest island? That's the youngest, for the youngest group. How much of the world's oil does the Middle East produce? 1/4, 1/3, or 1/2? What is the lowest point in the world? So those are the kinds of things that we just will look up together. We'll do this like for group time when we're all together. If you do morning baskets or something like that, that would be a good time to do that. And then when we gather this information, this is how we record. So last year we did Europe. We were studying the Middle Ages, and so we were doing Europe. And we would just do country by country, and we would collect little facts about each country, and then we would keep all these pages in a little folder, and then at the end of the year when we were done, we would put them all together into a book. And my daughter who did this, she's very artistic, and she'll come up with these things, how she wants to present it. So I kind of just let them do it. This year, we're doing the Americas, and this is just a composition notebook that we got. And she has just been gathering all of her information, and she's not quite done. She's still finishing up this, but this is kind of what this looks like. And she's just putting things together, and that's how we record keep for it. So a couple other things I want to mention that we really like. These two books, Hungry Planet, What the World Eats, and Material World, A Global Family Portrait. Now, both of these books are awesome. They are a little outdated, but the basic premise is they go country to country, and they take pictures of a family with all of their belongings. And so you just see like how much some countries have and how little some countries have. And that's just been really interesting to go through that. And then Hungry Planet is the same type of idea, but it's going, it shows a week's worth of groceries, or maybe it's a month's worth of groceries. I don't remember. But anyway, it also goes country by country and talks about that. So that's really interesting, even though it is a little bit outdated. I think it's still pretty accurate about teaching children what different people have. And, this is another fun one too. So Nursery Tales Around the World. This you can go, and it doesn't have every country in it, but I'll just look up what countries we're doing, and if they have a tale from that country, we will make sure we read it. So they have like United States, Norway, Russia, India, Zaire, England, the Philippines. So that's kind of fun to add up. And then the last thing I would recommend that we've done and we've liked is we just have culture nights. So if we know someone that has lived somewhere or came from somewhere or has ancestry from a certain area, we will have them over and welcome them to share about their culture. I had said before that we do a lot of our geography according to the history that we're doing that year. But I will say that if we have an opportunity to travel somewhere, we will put everything down that I had planned, and we will do something else, or we will focus on learning about where we're going. So for example, a few years ago, we had the awesome opportunity to go to Israel, and that's not what we were studying, but we put everything down and just started focusing on Israel. So I would definitely recommend that. Also, just having culture nights, like we were studying France last year with our European studies, and we had this really fun night where we made crepes and we had quiche, and I had just looked online and looked at books in the library about foods that they would eat, and the kids kind of shared things that they had learned, and then we just played little games. Like they built Eiffel Towers out of little wafer cookies, and we just had a really fun night. We got some French music, and we just had a fun culture night out of it. So that's really fun to do as a family, a way to celebrate everything you've learned. And those things, I don't really have a resource. I just look for things on Pinterest, and my kids help me plan. My girls really like to help me plan those kinds of things. So we have fun. So anyway, have fun traveling around the world, and I will leave some links to resources that I've used. Please feel free to feel welcome to check those out and message me if you have any questions. Good night.